essentially, 32 teams told me like they didn't think I was good enough to play in the NBA for 2 years, 3 years. Went back to LA, asked if they could do the same, said no. Asked for something else that was a little less, said no. And said, okay, well, if that's what it comes to, I'm ready to go to Chicago and start the next chapter. And
The Lakers made a mistake not bringing back Alex Caruso, but what makes him such an elite role player? He's an all NBA level screen navigator, which helps negate any advantage ball handlers get by using a screen. Notice him kind of wedge that little hip check on Tyus Jones' inside leg, which totally throws off his balance and cuts off the angle that he had. Caruso's rarely late anticipating a screen. By preparing early and leaning into the ball handler to get skinny, he's already done most of his work when it comes time to actually contest the shot. This can totally deflate the primary action. By cutting off Tatum early, he denies him from catching the ball entirely, which is exactly what the Lakers want. I also generally like the angles he takes. He beats Hero to the spot here and basically blows out his tires. The margins are so thin though. Brunson gets that little half step and that's all he needs. I think Stacey King, the Bulls commentator, called him
Crash Bandicoot.
And I see it. When he sees a handoff coming, he's throwing his body in between, and usually gets rewarded. Unsurprisingly, he leads the league in deflections so far this season, and he's been in or around the top 10 his past few years as well. On ball, he can occasionally struggle against guards who have a really quick first step. Like here, Morant easily rejects the screen and puts AC in the dust. And also sometimes guys that can change direction and decelerate quickly can give him issues too, like Harden or Booker. But for the most part, he's solid at least containing guys enough to funnel them into help. I do think Caruso is the type of defender that benefits from the more liberal defensive officiating that we've seen this season. In years past, Harden could have easily jumped into him and gotten a foul call. Not this year though. I wouldn't say he's as switchable on wings as, say, a Marcus Smart, but the Bulls have tried him a little on players like Randall. Notice Vooch helping early in the lane. This is a common theme looking at the Bulls' overall team defense. They love to aggressively help in the gaps and around the nail, and then trust their length to recover. A lot of the stuff they do is to try to get value from Vooch while covering up his weaknesses. He's close to the level of the screen to pressure ball handlers, while guys off the ball are zoning up until he recovers. To me, protecting the rim starts at the point of attack. That's why I think Caruso and Lonzo play actually a really important role for Chicago's defense. Let's say they get hit by a screen. You're then relying much more heavily on Vooch and LaVine, who aren't liabilities, but also aren't the engines of a high-level defense. Off the ball, he definitely does his homework. Here, the Suns are running a Spain pick and roll, so Saric sets a ball screen for Chris Paul, and Booker is going to set another on Saric's man. Teams commonly defend this action by having both the guards switch, Matthews and Caruso in this case, and it works to plan. Caruso steps up to switch on Saric, and that's an easy charge all day for AC. Same action this time again, so he's switching onto Ayton, and he's not going to get that call. Then, trying to make up for it, he commits the cardinal sin of fouling a three-point shooter. Generally though, I'd say his judgment's pretty on point off the ball. Luka loves to freeze the tagger in place with his eyes before spraying that corner skip pass, but Caruso reads the scouting report, and that's easy money. When we include drawing offensive fouls, Caruso actually ranked second in the league last year in forced turnovers, only behind Matisse Thybulle. You'll see this show up in transition, where he uses the offense's momentum against them and just plants himself to the earth. These really move the needle for a defense, because they're often layup-saving plays. Impact metrics seem to be generally in agreement on Caruso's defense being elite. He's in the 94th percentile in defensive estimated plus-minus so far this season, and in multi-year studies, which cast a much more reliable sample size, he ranks at the top, one placing him only behind Gobert, Giannis, and Capella. On offense, I'd say he's kind of more of a background character. I describe his role within the Bulls offense as kind of an action initiator. He brings the ball up and starts the play, but usually isn't the main focus. He's got some craftiness with the ball, like selling this pass to Vooch on the pop with a hezzy and then finishing on Gobert, but he really doesn't have much of an in-between game at all. Over his career, he shot around 27% on two-pointers outside of the restricted area, which isn't going to nominate him for any scoring titles. But the Bulls have enough offensive firepower between LaVine, DeRozan, and Vooch, so Caruso can kind of just fit in by cutting when defenders load up on the main guys. Like here, Scottie Barnes just kind of falls asleep off the ball and then gets distracted by Lonzo, and there's a perfect seam for AC. He's also a pretty smart passer, actually, hitting this corner skip with ease, and he's got the pocket pass to rolling bigs down. I particularly enjoy his deliveries to cutters. I think the Bulls could probably use him more as a screener for guys like LaVine. This behind the back was nasty. I remember LeBron enjoying him as a pick and roll partner in these spots too. This clever cutting and passing acts as sort of lubricant for the offense, helping it flow more smoothly. But at the end of the day, Caruso is pretty dependent on his teammates to shoulder most of the offensive load. Overall, Alex Caruso to me is the perfect role player. Passing, cutting, and most importantly, executing a team's defensive scheme are skills that compound and genuinely contribute to winning at the highest level, which we've literally already seen Caruso do. What more proof do you need?